Welcome on back to Baseless Claims, our bi-weekly casual talk fest where we talk about stories and things that have happened in our real lives. We're always open for more suggestions, so go ahead and leave us a comment wherever you may be consuming this podcast. And without further ado, my name is Tay.
I'm Tori.
I'm Tyler.
And I fucking nailed that intro.
Got it.
Holy
Got it this
fuck.
time.
Yeah, dude.
I keep trying to slip you up by like adding little things in the intro.
I didn't even
I
look
know,
at
you're
my
not even
script
looking
this
at 'em
time.
now.
You just and it's been a minute. Like you're just in it now.
Yeah, for real. Like I just slipped
gotta
into
become
it. Maybe,
second nature.
Maybe it's the alcohol. It's been a while.
You haven't even sipped it.
I'm cutting that.
All right.
There's going to be a muted spot.
Tyler, as a resident audio engineer, will you please cut out all of Tay's talking throughout the entire podcast? Is that something you
I can literally just turn off the mic.
just
right
mute
now.
it?
Fuck
Just
you.
mute it. Just
What
mute
the
it.
fuck?
So basically, like we all agree that the Earth is flat, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Earth
I don't like this bit,
completely.
Did you actually
flat.
turn my mic?
No.
I thought you actually turned my mic on.
Made you look dipshit. The Earth. There's just no way, because when I'm on the water, right?
Yep.
And I look across, I should be able to see curvature.
You do.
I see none. I see flatness. How do you explain that?
Because you haven't been on open enough water.
Tell you
I've
what,
been on the English Channel.
That's not open water.
you've never been, so it's pretty open.
My criminal
I've
record
been to
would
the
beg to
Pacific
differ.
Ocean.
I've been to the
Wait.
Pacific Ocean.
No, I've been to the Atlantic Ocean. I've never been to the Pacific.
Pacific
no,
is
I
on
have been to the
California.
Pacific. Yeah, because
you
I went to
lived in
California.
California
Yeah, that's
for a
right.
minute.
Whatever. Okay.
What the fuck
Wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. But my see evidence right there. If the Earth was round, it would have gone curved. It went straight down.
But the disc that is Earth, right?
Yeah,
The
okay,
pancake
I
that
wanna
is Earth is shooting up at such
The
a rate.
Earth
Sorry, I did not
looks
mean to play footsie
like
with you.
this. Okay,
You touched my
so the
tom.
Earth is slightly raised at the edges, so we don't fall off, and so the water stays. Obviously,
It's like a good pizza crust.
yeah, it's a good pizza crust that keeps us
Is that a stuffed crust?
in check. It is a stuffed crust.
What's
It's
the-
a stuffed crust from Pizza Hut.
Is there a special going on right now?
$7.99.
Oh, dude,
too
no.
large.
2 large Earths for $7.99.
2 large Earths for $7.99. You don't want this one? Try the other one. So the Earth on the bottom, you'll see there's no detailing to it. There's nothing there. So why on earth would people think that the Earth is round when very clearly if I drop something, it doesn't roll to the edge of the room? Because if the Earth was rounded, then, gravity would be pulling us down and around. And also, if the Earth was round, how would the water not fall out? If there was water beneath us, it would just pour out. That's stupid.
That's not how gravity works.
Tyler, I don't want to say you nailed it.
gravity work, Mr. Einstein?
Well, it's relative. Thank you. Einstein's theory of relativity.
The theory of gravity. Might I add, theory of gravity.
Theory.
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 Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a theory. It has
not a proven
not been
fact.
proven.
Jesus Christ, proven fact.
God damn it! I thought I could collect myself.
And that's just a theory. A lame theory.
Got him. Give you that one.
So the Earth looks like this. We are all in agreement that the Earth is this fine coaster. Now, if the
Provided
Earth,
by our friends at Pizza Hut, of course.
provided by our friends at Pizza Hut. The Earth provided by our friends at Pizza Hut. God didn't rest the seventh day. He just called in for delivery.
Nah, he tossed that dough. He tossed that dough. You know what I mean? Knuckles up, knuckles up. He's throwing it. He's tossing. He's making sure that it's fluffy.
Oh, that's funny.
I should have
laugh.
I should have muted Tay. Okay.
But seriously,
But seriously, with flat earthers, what is the benefit to the Earth being flat? Like, what do you get out of the Earth being flat? Because, like, I can see with, like, the moon landing conspiracy, 9/11 conspiracy, like, there's all, like, a benefit. Like, but with flat Earth, like, there's...
The satisfaction of being correct.
Why would we lie about it for so long? Like, why do they think NASA, which was, like, fucking... originated in like what, the 60s?
so the thing is, like, I don't know.
Earlier.
I don't know if there's a goal to it. I think with flat earthers, it's just like they don't believe it because like
That's just what they've been told their whole life.
Well, no, I mean, it's like they can't wrap their mind around gravity and like the way that spheres like the way it's pulling everything into the center and stuff. I think it's kind of like, well, that doesn't make sense because that doesn't happen with like the objects that I interact with every day.
Yeah.
So they're not
thinking on a grand
they
enough
don't think at a
scale.
bigger
Yeah.
scale. So I don't think there's a goal to it. I think it's like I just don't believe it.
But what would the goal of us lying about?
And I am not
around
trying to
Earth-
stick up for flat earthers.
No, but like, what would?
They are right, but
But like, I'm confused. What? Why would we be lying about the Earth being round for so? Like, what benefit is there? Like, the Earth is secretly flat, but we're gonna say it's round because it's the ultimate prank.
like
Yeah,
what,
no, it's
what
a
do they
government
think?
secret. So
Ashton Kutcher is behind the bushes right now. Come out, Ashton. He's like, you all just got fucking pranked. The Earth is fucking flat, you idiots.
This has been since the inception of punk. This has been the ultimate punking.
there's just gonna be one day where like everyone accepts that the Earth is flat. Like there's no discussions on it online. It's just colloquially known. Oh yeah, the fucking Earth is flat. It's fine. Every screen on the face of the Earth is gonna light up with Ashton Kutcher's face. Ha! You got pranked, bitch.
that famous flat earther tweet where it's like, we have members all over the globe.
I also loved the one
Burn
where-
yourselves.
I also loved the one where someone was like, "Hey, Flat Earth Society, is Mars round?" And they were like, "Oh yes, Mars has observed to be round." It's like, what the fuck?
Oh, gravity. Look at your gravity and work now.
Ooh.
Fucking Einstein ass
I ain't putting that
bitch.
shit back on.
So,
That's what I said.
my confusion with flat
clothes
Earth
yesterday when I
is
got
like,
home.
how has it accumulated so many followers when, you know, there's just overwhelming evidence of like, okay, this is stupid. Like, why?
Okay. This is a side note that I don't think we need to follow, but like,
Boy.
same with Christianity and, well, all religions.
We've reached the portion of the podcast where Tori goes on his religious crusade.
Dude, I really
Anti-religious crusade.
I very much
Because crusades are usually
Yeah,
religious.
anti-religious
true.
crusade.
It's ironic.
Okay, I hate religion. Okay.
Okay,
yeah.
let's
Anyway,
get. Hold on, Tay. Can you now compliment Tori for saying that his beliefs are, you know, his own, and
Yeah.
he should feel okay about them?
Yeah, you are absolutely okay to feel the way you do about anything you want, as long as it's not inherently evil. And again, that's also kind of based on geographical location and culture and shit. But
All right, I feel good
generally
enough.
speaking, I think you're a good person.
thanks.
Okay, and now I will hit my jaded millennial portion where I now say that student loan debt accrual will never be paid off, and what we should do is just relieve it and make college free because I don't insert jaded millennial thing here.
So flat earthers.
Marijuana should be legal and taxed. It worked for Colorado. Why can't it work for the rest of America?
Exactly, and we should all have a liberal brigade that goes around skinning people alive and whatever else they think we do. I'm just saying whatever else people think that we do as a liberal
think that
brigade.
li-
I like how you're
Okay.
prepping your prop. You're like, okay, so here we
Okay,
go.
so-
Back to the flat earth.
So back to our flat Earth. Now, we've
Title
seen
of this
photos
podcast going to be
from
"The Earth is Flat."
we've seen photos from NASA where there is the curvature. We've seen the roundness of Earth. We've seen from satellites we've sent
Yeah.
out that you can see that it is a spherical shape. Why didn't like? What's the point of denying that? Like just being like, That's
Well,
a
it's-
fucking lie.
You know, honestly, it's probably compound.
lie.
It's probably a compound thing. It's like, I didn't believe the moon landing, and I'm not believing them on this shit.
I was thinking today that moon landing might have not happened in
No,
'69.
It definitely happened.
I don't know.
No, it definitely happened.
I'm getting deeper and deeper into that
It
conspiracy.
definitely, actually, super duper, actually real happened.
I'm Neil Armstrong.
Are you telling me, Tyler, that they shot a multi-million-dollar rocket into space with three
It
people?
was the middle of the Cold War. We were willing
with
to do
three
anything.
people on it.
Oh, there was
who
no one
knew
aboard.
they were just going to be. We watched them board the goddamn thing.
Magicians do the same thing all the time with people in boxes.
Do they?
And they saw them in half. There could have easily been a little escape thing in the bottom. We don't know how they built that rocket.
We do. We absolutely do. There's schematics.
You
there's
know,
blueprints.
we have what the government gives us.
I mean, I suppose.
You're not like you're gently kidding.
I'm very gently kidding.
But part of you is like, we actually don't know. You know?
No.
I mean, literally, us three, we don't know. Yes, we don't actually know. We weren't at the launch.
That's another conspiracy theory that I'm like, I could get behind that. It's interesting enough
What?
that we didn't go to the moon in '69.
No.
There's no. If the Mythbusters can disprove it, a television series can disprove it.
I didn't see that episode. I'll watch that episode.
Yeah, it's a good episode.
It's also one of the best shows ever made.
It was a very good show. And Adam Savage went on to be like even more of a badass after that show aired.
Well, I mean, his last name is Savage. Come on, it was kind of given.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go on.
The Earth
Yes.
is a stuffed crust pizza.
Sure is.
It's delicious. It's got all of your ingredients sprinkled all over it, all your different cultures and flavors in there. We've got our melting pot in America that's obviously smack dead in the center of the globe, as it should be. And if you were to cross over the edges, you would fall off.
Into what?
Space.
What
Idiot.
direction would you go?
To hell. Okay, no, but I read something that was like a really good point that was like, okay, but if the Earth was truly flat, would the edge of the Earth not be the biggest tourist location
Yeah, exactly.
ever? Like,
Exactly.
they'd make so much money off of, you can look over the edge of the Earth. Like,
And suicide
we would've-
rates would go straight the fuck up.
we would have discovered
it.
that by now. Like, why don't... Okay, this is what I want to challenge all flat earthers
I'll tell you
to.
why. Because there is huge, unclimbable glaciers that are around the edge of the Earth. That's what flat earthers think. Is the reason you can't see the
Really?
edge of the Earth is because it's like, so Antarctica.
So the raised edges on the coaster is what they actually believe.
Yes.
Yes. No. I thought you
This
knew
was
that.
actually... No, this was actually a perfect metaphor.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
I
it's
thought
dead
you were
on.
just like making a commentary on the fact that it had raised edges and we're just being
No,
sarcastic.
they actually believe
No.
that.
So they
Oh my
they believe
God.
that like when you go to Antarctica, you're not going to the like
To the pole?
to the pole. You're going
To the edge.
To the edge.
And it surrounds
But we've
circular
been
based.
like it's circular base, so like you can go around it, and that's why they trick you into believing that it's actually at the top of the globe.
But when you walk around the ice shelf,
it would be on the other side of you, right? If there's like
you're
an ice
going in a
shelf in the middle.
convex pattern when they say it's concave. That doesn't work. That physically does not work.
We know that.
Also, if that were the case, there would only be
This
glaciers
is why
on the
we're discussing
outside.
this. It doesn't make sense.
If there were only glaciers on the outside of the circle, and they were like, "Oh, that's what happens at the North Pole." What about the fucking South Pole?
It goes in a circle.
Yeah,
it's literally
so
this.
like the first half of the North Pole, or the first half is the North.
That's so
no, I'm not
absurd!
joking. So like cut it
This
down
is
the
the
middle.
North
Oh my
Pole.
God.
This is the South Pole. It goes in
Yeah,
a circle.
that's what they believe.
So dumb.
I
Oh
know.
my god.
So if flat, I want a rich flat earther to like hire a private charter plane.
there was one that built his own rocket.
Yeah, where the pilot
Elon
is like
Musk.
unbiased and they just like send them in a straight pattern and they're like, okay, like we've reached your so-called like fall off point. Like, oh look, we're still on like a leveled like surface because we go in a sphere. Like why don't they just test it out for themselves? Just take a fucking plane
And
just
Because they can't afford it.
No, they've thought of everything. I've watched stuff with flat earthers, like talking to them, and what they think is, if you're looking at the flat Earth, they think that like if you fly from one edge to the other, instead of like going around like the globe or whatever, they think what you do is you go in a circle, like. You literally, like, you fly in a plane and you go one direction, and instead of going around the globe, they actually just do a circle because, like, they think like airplane companies and stuff are also part of it, or there's
almost
like,
gave me an
or there's like a
aneurysm.
wind stream or something like that, where like that's why they go
Well, if
around
they
it.
think airport companies and like airlines,
There's
are a
always
part
gonna
of
be
it,
an excuse for
why
everything you
are
bring
flight
up.
times
No,
such an issue?
They have thought of everything.
no, the time it
I
takes,
will give them that they're very thorough.
Yes, they are. But like the time it takes you to get from point A to point B on a flight can be completely different depending on what direction you start in. right? And like the time, I forget what the example is, but I think like the time to get from Moscow to the US is less than like
The U.S. to Moscow,
less than
like depending on the direction. You're
US to like some place that looks closer on a map, but because of the way the Earth is curved, it's just so.
Yeah. Well, because like the maps, like the map we see in like
I
high
just
school
want to
and
know
stuff
what
is
they
not
think
true.
is on the bottom. Like, what do they think is on the bottom?
Middle Earth, dude.
Nothing. Yeah, it's Middle Earth. It's where Frodo
But
is.
like, how would you why don't they do an expedition and just, try and
Yeah, why can't you punch through the center of this disc?
I think they think the bottom is magma.
so like.
I'm not sure.
Why
about
don't they
that,
do
though.
a charter expedition to just like, okay, we're gonna go in a straight line
because they
forever.
don't have the money.
There's
eventually
there's
we'll-
not enough funding in the flat Earth
Yeah,
society
the
to like
people who
fund
are
a
in the
just say
project that big.
Bezos needs to give them enough money
And Lord knows he has it.
Just to shut everyone up.
just to like another cause that everyone just needs to like, let's just all shut up about this is like the weed legalization. Like, yeah, we get it. Let's just all shut up now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is the criminal aspect of like, if we decriminalize weed, then we should release all
Yeah,
of the people
absolutely.
who are in there for dealing drugs. Like
Anyone
dealing
who's ever
marijuana.
said the word-
Absolutely.
The word that you just said should go to prison.
Marijuana? Marijuana.
Marijuana.
Get him, boys. Call the boys in blue. We got a couple sinners on our side here.
So that's what I just don't understand the flat earth like conspiracy, like why buy into it?
Wow, that shocks me. I really thought that it was like it made a lot of sense, so you would understand it. Like,
Yeah, no, not for me personally, but like why I don't get like it's an overarching thing with like anything, with like cults, with anti-vaxxers, with
yeah, you told me like just as you were on your way over here, you were listening to a cult podcast
yeah,
about
Charles Manson.
dude, cults are creepy as fuck.
Yeah, dude, and that's the thing.
My favorite cult, like, sorry to cut you off. My favorite cult,
favorite cult.
dude, I love Blue Oyster Cult.
my favorite cult of all time, Christians. All right, move on.
To be fair,
Religion is a cult.
to be
is.
fair,
Religion is a cult.
Yeah,
okay.
they know that.
no.
A cult- a
To be
cult is
fair, the
defined
only
as that.
difference between
They
a
don't.
cult and a religion is that the religion is recognized by the government.
Yeah, I know that. Do they know that? I'll just say it. Joel Osteen is a cult leader.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He knows
Yeah.
it.
Oh, he knows
he is stupidly self-aware. But he makes a lot of money.
Yeah. So like what? Is it mob mentality?
Yes, it's absolutely mob mentality.
Like where you
'Cause
get
it-
enough people believing something, you're like, yeah.
And
yeah,
the thing about
But what about the first member of a cult?
the first member of a cult is usually the leader, right?
Tyler, do you want to write a movie with me called The First Member?
is it about penises?
I'm in.
How about the
In what way does
How
that
about we
involve
make
penises
member?
at all?
member?
Yeah, that's a slang term for penis.
I
My
know
member.
that. I know that, but it wasn't used in a penis-like context.
Oh, the first member could be about Adam
Adam.
jacking off.
who?
Or we make
Adam, you know,
or we make the
first
longest
man.
yard.
Oh.
according to
Oh,
Christians.
okay. So we do the first member and then a follow-up sequel that no one else asked for, the longest member. It's just about big old dicks.
What is the biggest dick ever recorded? I'm looking that up. Biggest
Cock, typed cock.
cock in the
Yikes.
world.
No, don't go
porn.
to yeah.
I just get porn.
How does no shit?
World record.
Like biggest cock ever recorded in tiniest teen ever seen.
The world. Oh my fucking god! The world record penis length is 13.5
I
inches.
swear I've seen bigger dicks in porn.
It's all cinema magic.
It's all just special effects.
American sets new penis world record size at 19.1 inches.
Hell
Let's
yeah,
go,
we did it.
USA, USA, USA.
We got big dicks.
The previous record holder was a Mexican man of 18.9 inches.
That's right down. Well, I don't want to.
Build that wall. Build that wall.
All right, well,
God,
you went there.
that's That's like that big.
That's way bigger than that.
Did you say 19?
Oh yeah, 19.
19
That's almost 2 feet.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a big old dick.
That's a-
No way it fits inside a human being.
No,
Right?
that's
Like-
why he only fucks horses exclusively.
That's gotta no, like no joke. It would suck to have the biggest dick.
Oh yeah, absolutely
yeah.
would.
You want to be in like a good. There's like a good range.
Like,
but like
7 to 8.
is
Centimeters?
Is that what's good?
What is average size? I thought
What's-
that was average.
I think average size is like 5.2.
Average penis length.
It's gonna get weird because now everyone's gonna be
Average penis length is
Tori got a-
5.3
6
inches.
like, Tori got a really small dick.
Oh, the erect penis is
do.
5.16 inches.
That's the average.
5.16.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I'm always below
Am I
average.
above average?
My GPA sucked and my dick is small.
What age do you grow your penis at?
I think it's like 19.
Yeah, somewhere around there. You just got to give it plenty of water.
Were you giving it sunlight?
No. Okay, so like,
If you go in the sun,
I mean, like I have mine, but like I have a.
it's like a chia pet. Like you just gotta kind of
Tori,
like.
Tori, do you not have a penis?
I have like a big.
penis.
I have like a. I'm that. I set the rec. I have a really big dick. Like women complain, even though I'm. I have a big dick.
You don't have a dick, do you?
What do you mean, dude? I had like a friend one time who was like, "Bro, I haven't grown my dick yet. Do you give it sunlight?" And I was like,
Yeah, you give it sunlight.
"It's like yeah, and like you water it, and like
is
it's
this
like a chia
friend?
pet. Like that's how I described it too.
Tori.
Yeah, I use that.
Tori, who is this friend?
You don't know him?
Describe him.
He's got like hair. He's got brown hair, but his ears are also
Brown?
Well, no, but like, and then his eyes too. But like at the same time, like
And he's got the mouth.
but
that
like
talks.
he's like shorter than me, and he has like a way smaller. He hasn't got.
He hasn't
I
gotten
have
a
a
dick,
dick.
yet.
The point is,
He has a penis.
Show me.
show you what my dick.
Yeah.
That's gay.
And?
Tori's
I'll show you
super
my
hetero.
Do it. Live on podcast. Oh, God. Let's see you commit to this bit.
You got pair of thieves on?
What do you think? What do you? Stop laughing! Stop laughing! Stop laughing!
Woo! Okay. So
It's one of the better bits I think we've ever had on this podcast.
that was not a bit. I will cleanse my eyes with bleach before I go to bed tonight.
Lunch. Okay.
Shh. Shh. I'll bass boost that.
Nailed it.
Oh, God. So do you want to keep talking about flat earthers or what?
I don't know. My thing is I just don't get it. I just
Yeah,
don't.
no, there's nothing to get. It's just a group
Except for
mentality.
enlightenment.
It's someone who wanted to be a troll on the internet, found a following of dumb people, and exploited it, and now it's bigger than they could have ever possibly imagined.
Basically,
Tori has a dick.
flat earthers. What I'm saying is, I've got a huge cock. That's all I know. No. Cults are like. Cult leaders
Are like an onion.
are like Logan Paul. Don't bring Shrek into this. No, I was watching a documentary on HBO about
Oh, look at me, rich boy.
it's your account. You gave me your login info.
Exactly. I'm
And
quite
if you want it,
wealthy.
DM me on Twitter at Lurking Lion. It was on Scientology. And the leader or whatever, like I don't know what they call him, but like
Paul Blart.
the creator of Scientology, the Grand Wizard of Scientology, he basically had written a book, and he had been quoted or something.
Oh,
where
that's right.
He said the phrase, "The only way to achieve true wealth is to start a religion." So he created a religion. Mm-hmm. And people still follow it.
Churches are fucking tax exempt. They shouldn't be, but they are.
Yeah, and that's how he gained something. Like that's why Scientology is so much money based. It's like if you want to get to the next level, God needs a payment or what, or like whatever their god's name
Zorlark.
Yeah, that's
Needs-
probably close.
needs a payment of this much to get you to the next level.
Specifically in Scientology, yeah.
Yes, and that's why, like. And then they get like
Zemu.
Xenu.
really
Xenu, yes.
really
Xenu.
rich poster boys like Tom Cruise and
Cruise,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Is he still in Scientology?
Oh yeah,
Okay. I didn't know if he like got out of it
or
or whatnot.
at least at the time of the documentary is not old at all.
Yeah,
so
let me check.
At least at that time, like certain people have left. Like what?
Just from Wikipedia, on the main Google page, like how it gives like a brief synopsis, is the funniest shit I've ever read in my life.
Go for it.
Yeah, he's still in
This is the
Xenu, according to Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard, the dictator of the Galactic Confederacy, who 75 million years ago brought billions of people to Earth, then known as Tegiak, in a DC-8-like spacecraft, stacked them around volcanoes, and killed them with hydrogen bombs. We had hydrogen bombs 75 million years ago, T.
I mean, South Park.
That's already wrong because the Earth is only like 4,000 years old.
Yeah, dude,
It's 2018 years old.
South Park did an episode about Scientology where they animated what they believe, like the story start to finish, and it is the most absurd bullshit.
Is it the Scientology one or the Mormon one where the entire like musical background is dum 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 dum?
Is that Book of Mormon?
That's the Mormon one. No, it's an episode of South Park when they're talking about the
same
story. Yeah, the story of how Mormonism came to be, and they use this like musical signature at the end of every verse that goes dum 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 dum, which is just like this musical thing,
Yeah.
right? But then after every verse, it gets stupider and stupider. And then one verse, they're just like, "That's dum 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 dum," like the word dumb.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
There's a
I want to see the Book of Mormon too. Now that you bring that up,
there's like that great Daniel Tosh bit where he's like, it can't be a religion if it's old enough for my dad to be like, oh yeah, that didn't happen. Like, but at the same time, you look at the Mormon you look at the Scientology like belief system and stuff like that. Is that any dumber than any other religion's origin story?
I mean,
This summer,
like-
witness the origin story.
The
Are we getting another Wolverine movie?
origins.
I mean, like you got your ancient religions, right? Which some of them have.
Scientology is just what it would look like if one of an ancient religions got started in the modern world.
That's what I mean. It's
I
no more
suppose.
hard to believe. So some cosmic person broke his rib off and threw it to the ground and created a man and a woman, and then a snake, a slithery thing, handed a woman an apple.
I suppose now that we have science and like can
Logic.
yeah, it takes
Yeah.
I love logic on
takes
that.
away-
Shout out to Bobby Tarantino too.
it takes away a
that
lot
his name?
of
I have no idea.
the mystery of the world, right? And that's where a lot of these religions came from, was explaining unexplainable things.
Right.
Like in the instance of the Greek gods, they were like, why is there light in the sky when it's raining?
Yeah.
And someone went, oh, that's fucking Thor throwing his hammer around.
Yeah.
Haha. And then they just went with it, right? Because it was unexplainable to them.
Right. And that's where like, okay, so
But now that everything can be explained with science, or at least most of it, you know, these new religions are based on more and more far-fetched things that people don't want to think about, like money.
It's
or
kept
fucking
alive by
Xenu.
parents who don't let their kids have free thought. I believe that 80% of the problem is parents who force it on children. And that's all religions, not just Christianity. But okay, so there was a time in my life where
I wouldn't say 80%. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead. We never cut you off, so
I wouldn't say it's
Never
like an
thought about
80% like force, like the religion. I think a large chunk of it is people that are just like, oh, well, I was raised this way and it's been fine, so why change it? They don't challenge themselves to, not challenge themselves, but they don't feel like they need to believe anything else because it's worked for them this far, right? So I would say that's a good,
It just makes people comfortable.
yeah, I would say that a good 60%
why? It's very discomforting.
when you look at it.
When you look at it, but like when you've been raised in it.
And there's
like,
been no
it's just
problems.
for you personally. That's the other thing, Tori, is that people are selfish. They don't think outside of themselves.
Well, I'm selfish too, but I can still
So let's take me for example, right? I was raised in a very religious family. They're still very religious and everything, although some of them may be trailing off now that I like start to analyze my family a bit more. But once I reached a certain age, I realized, oh hey, the world is kind of shitty, and like bad things happen all the time. Shit, bad things happen to me, and like apparently this God that I believe in works in quote mysterious ways But at the same time, if he cared about me or was so omnipotent, why are all these other bad things happening to good people?
Right.
And that's when I started to question stuff, right? And like, theologists and pastors and stuff will try to explain.
Ancient alien astronaut theorists suggest.
We'll try to explain their way around it and everything. But for me, that's when I started to divert. And once you start to divert, it's an exponential curve to like stop believing.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
And like, a part of me wants to believe there's some great force driving everything in the universe, right? But it's just unlikely. Because like the Big Bang
when bad
happened.
things were happening to you, did you try praying harder? That should have stopped it. Maybe bad things happen to good people because, you weren't in church on Sunday.
Have you ever said
know
the
what I mean?
word weed before? Because at that point,
You're
lost all
lost.
of God's help.
Yeah. You are lost in the eyes of God as soon as you watch anime.
Wait,
Go on.
have you had sex out of wedlock?
No.
That's it. That's it. You're a liar.
You're lying to me.
What? No, I've never had dope, awesome sex ever.
Okay, you sound legitimately like you have.
Now I don't. Yeah, I was just going to say, now I actually don't.
Yeah, no, dude.
now I'm not worried.
I've had awesome sex, dude.
Yeah, dude, I probably gave it 3 or 4 of her to her. Maybe 5.
But who's counting?
But
Anywho.
God, I don't remember where I was going with this. Like I had a point. to
Something
it,
about religion.
I
and
think
being,
where it's like I lost it.
If you don't grab it, here we go. Let's pick up on somewhere where we have another kind of influential thing in your life. Now, this is very different from me as it was for you, Tori, because I've been thinking about how older siblings influence your own habits and like influence your childhood and like things you said, as opposed to like if you're an only child,
Right.
how that works.
So, before you got here, when you were getting the recorder, Tori just went fucking off about his younger days with his older brother. Oh boy.
Yeah.
But I mean, as
Big
much
T
as,
was mean to me back in the day.
but like as much as he was mean to you, he was a huge influence for you as a kid.
You could say that.
Yeah. No, I mean, like he really was though. Like no
Yeah.
matter how
You
much
wanted
he
to
like
do what
literally
he was doing.
physically abused me, I wanted to like hang out with him and be like him and dress like he did and listen to music he did and,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. Huge
And
influence.
that
to
influenced the person that you are today. Like it influenced the music that you still currently like. Like
Yeah.
it influenced even the games you still like, even though he doesn't like games now. Like,
Well, like he was originally like with Ocarina of Time, like which is the most impactful game of my life.
check out the series.
I was gonna say coming soon. I don't know when I'm gonna make it, but that's the last one. I'm sorry. Am I boring you? Are you texting?
Well, no, I was just fucking with my phone. And like
Tori,
a
continue.
piece fell out.
Tori,
Go
just
on.
continue.
Sorry. But like I originally started that by like watching him play the game, and then I would like, oh, okay, I think I kind of got it, and then I started playing it on my own, and like he would kind of help me out through. And then, but yeah, like I know what you're saying. Like those things influenced a lot of my life.
Exactly. And like for me, I have an older sibling, but we never interacted. So I almost
Still don't.
yeah, exactly. So like in a sense, I was kind of an only child.
Yeah.
Like because there
Was
only
was the most
influences-
annoying thing about your older sister that the fact that like
she existed.
she's
Yeah.
stupid hot?
Dude, nice.
Got him.
But it
Tyler,
was
would you
not
say
a
your
joke.
sister's hot?
So what I was trying to say was, like for me, as almost like a kind of spiritual only child, I guess is the only word I can think of it.
Pseudo?
Pseudo. That's the word I was thinking of. As a pseudo,
Let's not get
I'm really
religious here
vibing,
again.
man. Do you have any crystals?
as a pseudo
My
only
vibe
child,
went off.
it was
Dude,
like
you want to charge my JO crystal?
Jack off crystal?
Yeah.
Is it charged?
Oh, it's more than charged, buddy. Go on.
as a pseudo only child, I got a lot of influence from like dumb shit I was watching on TV or like games I played or like I was like taking influence from that as to be like, oh, this is the person that I need to be like cool and everything.
You know,
and like it's different when I see people who had older siblings so they could kind of base it on like, you know, a real person then to be like, you know, almost mesh easier when you got to like making your own friends and everything. Like when you get to that age. Whereas for me, it was very like something's off.
Yeah.
How much older is Emily than you?
4 years.
4.
Okay. My brother is
3 years.
two, sometimes 3, depending on the time of year.
And to throw my
Depending on
experience-
the moon cycle,
Yeah.
he can be either 3
You
years
see,
older
I'm an
than-
Aquarius, but no.
depending on, you know, the moon cycle, he's either sometimes 3 years older than
So,
me
yeah, but
or
like
a werewolf.
2.5.
So,
No, to throw my experience into here, I have a younger sister who's 6 years younger than me.
oof,
And it's
accident.
no, I was probably the accident. But anyway, I have had a similar experience to you. It wasn't as drastic as you saying that you're a pseudo only child. Like I was very aware that I was a sibling. But I never interacted as much with my sister because we were both in swim team and we practiced at separate times. So by the time I got home from my practice, Becca was already in bed by like an hour or two, right? So during the school year, I barely saw her. I like saw her on the weekends, maybe if we had a swim meet that we both went to, right? So when I did interact with her, it was like pulling teeth because I didn't know this person.
Yeah.
And they wanted, you know, all this not attention, but like just the way that person was in that space, I was expected to be around, right?
Yeah.
And we just didn't mesh because we were two completely different people who don't spend time together at all, right?
Yeah.
So I can feel your experience too, although it may be being a bit different.
Well,
so
like,
what
you
I'm
being
getting
the
from this,
older-
hold on.
Okay, go. I stopped talking.
Make it a mumble rap.
So you had a sister that's 6 years younger than you. Okay, so she's like 16 now?
16, 17, yeah.
16. What do you mean 16, 17? How
Around
old
that
is she?
age.
Around that. How
she's
old is she?
1,617 years old.
I'm pretty sure
Is
she's
she
16.
consenting age?
No.
Is she hot?
No. I'm just kidding.
That's all I was getting to.
You said you were
I was
just kidding?
asking if your
Well,
sister's
no, that's
hot.
not a question to ask me.
No, I don't think my sister's hot.
Okay, but no.
hides in your
But like,
sweatshirt.
actually, now I'll get to like the real point. Is that it's different for you as an older sibling
Yeah.
then, because you're almost expected to be like, hey,
And
hang
it's-
out with your sister so she has something to do because you're
Yeah,
like supposed to be a role.
exactly.
In 6 years, that's a big
It
difference.
is. And the thing
Like
is,
any way you slice that, like regardless of what age you're at, you're 18, she's 12.
Yeah.
Two totally different
She's
worlds.
30, you're
Yep.
38, almost 40. Like,
Wow,
6
yeah.
years. What?
6 years.
you thought it was 8 earlier too.
You fucking idiot who can't do math. You're a worthless
shut
piece
up.
I didn't
of
do
shit.
math. I just
Shut
had the wrong
up.
number in my head.
You will be nothing if you don't understand math.
Fuck off. Anyway, it's
a
also
shower every day.
It's also like I'm basing my feelings about my little sister on like what I used to feel about her, right? Now I am a bit indifferent, right? Like I haven't hung out with her enough to like know who she is as a
You
person.
live totally
right now.
separate lives now.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not at
because,
home.
Because I'm not at home. She's in high school. She's still going to church all the time. I don't. She's got her whole high school things to worry about, her high school friends. She's probably got a boyfriend or something now. And it's like, I don't
Did
know.
she ever talk about him?
Is
No,
God
because
her
I never
boyfriend?
talked to her.
How old is he? Does she date
Probably
older
the
than her?
same age. Nope, Tyler.
Kidding.
Nah, like it's just like
There's a total disconnect.
there's this weird like lack of communication between she and I, and
But it's never like
Specifically-
sour, right?
No,
like
it's
it's
never
not because of any like bad reason. It's just because of the age
no,
gap.
I mean it can get sour. Like if I'm home for a family event and some sort of hot button issue comes up, right? Like I'm the only one in my immediate family that follows the news. My mom, my dad, and my sister all tune it out and don't think about it because they don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a situation where they don't need to think about these issues right now. So when someone brings up casually or like jokes like haha Trump, and then I go haha Trump, but man, fuck, things are bad, and then I go into it, all three of them shut down and are just like, you can't think about it, otherwise it'll consume you. And it's like, I can't really not do that at this point. And it creates this disconnect. And like my relationship with my parents right now is it's weird.
it's on the rocks.
It's on the rocks. And
I could use a scotch right now.
yeah, it's on the rocks, and
Need some of mommy's special juice.
you know the breakdown of communication comes from this kind of different upbringing that I've had, because I'm pretty sure if someone were to ask me like, where did you learn to be you? I would say the internet.
Yeah.
It wasn't my parents. It wasn't my sister. It wasn't
Well, I think
my
that's a
family.
very older sibling thing.
Yeah. And like even for people our age, right? Because I had an iPod and I went on YouTube. Like YouTube was one of my first outlets or like entertainment sources. Like because I didn't have cable as a kid. I wasn't watching Nick or Cartoon Network or fucking MTV or whatever, right? I was watching stuff on the internet.
I wasn't watching Nick. I would have had 2 siblings, but
So I was, you know,
got out.
I was raised on this internet culture, so to speak, and not, you know, necessarily what my parents wanted me to have.
and I think that's a lot of people around our age because my sister
Yes.
didn't have that because she was
Dumb.
yeah, like literally I'm going to tell a story about my sister really quick to just reference how dumb she is.
Can I tell a story
Like-
about your sister?
She's stupid. Like
Yeah, she is. Stupid hot.
just dumb. And
Would you say
she
your-
graduated
Would you say your sister's a bimbo?
Stop it. My sister graduated.
Shudder at the word.
My sister graduated from Park High School, just across the street from us right now. Mm-hmm.
Famously, Tori Thompson's high school as well.
Famously Tori Thompson's high school. That's what they call it now.
I'm the
Tori
most
Thompson's
famous
High
person
School.
from there. It's not Sean William Scott.
Who the
That's a real fact.
fuck is that?
The guy from American Pie,
Goons.
Goons. That was the one I was thinking of.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard.
I don't watch movies, Tori.
Okay. Anywho,
I just,
My-
I know it's a bit, but the level of depression that I just saw in your eyes from that quote is just immeasurable.
The only famous person from my high school.
okay. So actually, I want to make this 2 stories that combine into one story. So my sister worked at Cub Foods, and you know how sometimes like grocery stores and Walmarts, they hire people with like mental disabilities as a greeter.
Boy, do I know.
They hire them typically as like
I worked at one.
Okay.
With, I was going to say them. Go on.
I'm gonna save you. So she worked with someone who she went to high school with, and she was talking to my mom who works at the same grocery store about it. She was just like, yeah, like I went to high school with them and everything, and like, and my mom was saying like, yeah, it's like really nice that like we like even though we don't need the position, like we keep him employed to like give him something to do and like, you know, have like a working outlet. And my sister was like, wait, what do you mean? And my mom was like, well, he's like mentally, you know, like he has a mental disability, Emily, like a learning disability. And she was like, what? No, he doesn't. He was in my math class. My sister, I shit you not,
Oh, Emily.
was in special needs math classes and reading classes.
Oh, Emily.
And she didn't know she was in those classes.
Which is
Woof.
worse.
Which is, yeah, it's bad. Anywho, she graduated from Park High School. When she graduated, when we were taking like the graduation pictures and everything, she was just like, I can't believe it. Like I finally have like my PhD. It wasn't even like that hard. Like why do people like say it's hard? And I was like, wait. And she said this to me and I was like, wait, Emily, what did you just say? I have a PhD. And I was like, Emily, what do you think a PhD means? And she's like, a Park High diploma. And I was like, oh,
Which
wow.
was like a really bad inside joke of this community. Saying they have a Park High diploma and calling it a PhD as a joke. But it was always said in such a joking context. And of course, Emily believes it.
Yeah. She genuinely thought she had a PhD.
Can't be that hot and not be dumb.
She thought that she had achieved like the pinnacle of the academic community. She was like, I don't know how it would have been much harder than other high schools, but apparently like I
Tyler,
did
she
a
doesn't
good
even know how
job.
to use an inside voice.
Oh my God. Yeah, she
No joke. I want to do a no joke impersonation.
Dumb as rocks.
Of what Emily sounds like. Mom! And that's like her normal, like, everything's fine.
she still lives at home.
Sure does.
She's 26.
Thanks.
Not to like dog on people if you're still living at home.
Yeah.
What I'm dogging on is the fact that she's making zero effort to move out and like start her own
It's
life.
just, let's be honest, it's fun to dog on Emily.
Yeah, it is.
It's fun to dunk on that hoe. Okay. My brother. So I think the situation with me and my brother is like, okay, I was just telling Taylor, but like in the early days, my brother beat the shit out of me. He was like, brothers fight, but like, I guess I never saw a day-to-day life of other brothers in my situation, but like, I feel like I got the hell beat out of me. And we didn't get along for a long time because he thought I was a little crybaby whiner and stuff like that. And I thought he was a psycho abusive person. And so, because we got to the point like where if he came near me, I would drop to the ground and start crying right away so that a parent would come and stop it before it. Because he used to do crazy shit to me.
Yeah,
like
it was pretty rough.
Slam my hands in doors, smash my head against concrete, pry my mouth open and spit into it.
That's gay.
Some may call that a kink.
Some might. And who knows if he does that.
Tori's got a huge saliva kink.
Dude, nice.
Open your mouth, pretty boy.
It's just like an anime.
I'm your spittoon. But no, we got to also, side note, I was telling him this too. Those Power Wheels?
Yeah, Power Wheels.
Power Wheels like Jeeps and stuff you could get?
Yeah.
I had a metal and carbon fiber built one of those that was a Batmobile. And it had a plastic flame mold on the outside that would light up purple and orange. I had it for all of 1 hour before my brother's jealousy got the better of him. And on my birthday, he destroyed it because he was pissed that he didn't get something that cool.
All I'm getting from this is you're in the 1% because your mom bought you a Batmobile.
The 1% of kids.
Fuck.
Obviously. I built this.
Yeah, look at this set.
Look at all of this.
You know how high production? Do you know how much this costs?
We've had zero problems with any of this today.
Yeah, there's definitely not
perfect.
hundreds of cords laying around because there's been power issues in the house.
Yeah. What do you think? I'm some poor person whose basement floods every time it rains? You sick fuck?
Yeah.
Anyway, now me and my brother get along a lot. And even though we fought, I still did want to hang out with him and hang out with his friends and all of that stuff. And he made a major influence on me. And even, I would say even to this day, like, has sway, even though I'm much more independent.
He has sway. Like, I've seen it.
I still do care about his opinion and stuff like that too, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know, like
it's that dynamic.
What do you
having
mean
someone.
exactly? Like, do you mean like because you never really had someone that you got along with and like could look up to? Kind of, is that like?
Yeah, it was like a weird only child, like I said, a pseudo only child kind of thing, where I almost didn't grow up with someone to like teach me how to do certain things. Like it was like I got all of my like jokes and everything I did from just popular media that I was watching. So it was like
my dad taught me how to like get the fuck away from a family and never come back.
Aside from that,
Same.
Tyler,
look at me, my parents are still together. What else are you gonna say?
I was not even going to talk about that, but what I was going to say was when you made friends in school or in high school
still
or
haven't.
anything.
That's probably true.
Yeah, that's probably true. But hypothetically speaking, if you were, did you have older friends or friends that were the same age or younger friends?
Same age.
Same age? Okay. Because when I was in school, I had mostly friends my same age too.
Actually.
But yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm getting you thinking because I had a lot of friends that were older than me too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now that I think about it,
You guys are both just like, I like hung out with I was with the upperclassmen, like parties, and like we drank beer.
No, it wasn't like that. It was I hung out with this kid in my neighborhood who was, when I was 8 years old, he was 16. So I was hanging out with him and his 16-year-old friends.
Okay.
And they were doing like crazy 16-year-old stuff. Like, let's go to the treehouse and smoke cigarettes. And like, I never did any of that stuff, but they would like invite me along because they were like, oh, it's kind of like cool. Like he's like a younger.
Yeah.
kid.
They would
So,
they would see you as
now
like
that I
a
think
protege.
Yeah,
or
exactly. Now that I
something.
think about it, it's like I was almost drawn to older.
You want to know
more
why?
influential people.
I did similar things.
This
too.
just hit me. People who wanted to like have a younger person tag along with them to do it is because out of the people they like, the older friends that you're hanging out with, out of the people they knew, they were not the first ones to do it. And so they wanted to seem really cool to someone who had never done it before.
Yeah.
So they would let a younger person hang out and be
That's a
like,
good point.
You've never, we do this like all the time, bro.
Yeah. Well,
So it's both ends being met.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's a mutual kind of like beneficial relationship in a way.
and another thing that really helped with
Not to your lungs.
another thing that kind of got me more older
wanna
friends
hit this?
was
You wanna
also
cheers.
Jesus goddamn was also swim team. Swim team is a huge influence in my life, and a lot of swimmers were. My God, I fucking hate both of you. Holy shit.
That was dope, bro. Bring that shit in.
Oh my God.
Hope you get lung cancer tomorrow.
Oh, me too.
I'm so sorry.
Lock her up.
No, but swim team. A lot of the friends that I made in swim team were also older than me too.
Like your coaches?
No, God damn.
I'm sorry. Go on.
but not by much, right? They were like
A year.
a year older than me,
Right.
and the friends that they were friends with were a year older than them, and so on and so forth. But even so, like even down the chain, I could still be friends with that person because they were friends with everyone else down that chain, right? And I guess that's because not because, but I guess that's something that we just kind of debunked here was being this child who doesn't really have someone to look up to, looking up to someone in our age group like that, like an older sibling would be.
Yeah. So that's
Which
where I
is
got
very
like a lot of
interesting.
my social cues from, was like hanging out with older people then.
Yeah,
And being
I
like,
suppose.
okay, this is how you're like almost supposed to act, because I didn't get that from anyone else. So like now that I think back,
is that
like
why
a lot of
like in middle school you were so much different than you are now? No, I don't mean that. No, you were very different in middle school.
Old Tyler wouldn't have been.
yeah, I thought this was definitely
well, I
like
mean,
a-
yeah, like you, yes, like you are
yeah,
a
because I
different
was
Tyler
trying
than you
to
were,
be cool.
than you
Like
were a
I was
couple months
very
ago,
much
but
I was very much trying to be cooler, like
nothing
because
cooler than plaid shorts
No, I wore plaid shorts.
and the same
Everyone did.
the same
plaid
the same
Everyone
Hooters
did.
shirt every day, so that people would think you'd seen titties.
bro, I totally did. I saw like lots.
Oh my
of
God! When
titties.
I was in middle
Probably
school,
two.
There was a field trip to the Mall of America.
That was a field trip.
Yes, that was a field trip.
That's where I go to buy socks.
Exactly. And
Soda.
1%.
No, you don't
baby.
live in Minnesota anymore.
so in middle school, we were given this very harsh ultimatum: if you go to the 4th floor, you will get punished. Because that's where Hooters was. They didn't say Hooters. They just said 4th floor, right? Don't go to the 4th floor.
Yeah.
So there was a subset of kids that were like, we're going to Hooters.
Oh, yeah.
They went to Hooters, got T-shirts, got severely punished for it.
What'd they do?
They're like
Firing squad.
like detention and shit like that, right?
Whatever. That's
But
nothing.
I happened to be in the area of getting off of the bus to go home when this group of kids that went to Hooters, their parents were standing there, right? To like pick them up. And the kids got off the bus, and one of the dads, I'll never forget this, looked at his kid, and obviously the kid's like in trouble, he's a little ashamed, and the dad goes, "What? You didn't give me a shirt?"
Nice.
High-fived him and they went home.
Maybe not nice, but like
I mean, we were like 12
you
or
feel
some
good for
shit.
because like at this, it's one of those things where a parent looks at it and goes, "Yeah, I would have done it." Like
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's something you quote unquote shouldn't have done, but why shouldn't you have done it? It's just because you feel it's one of those things that there's no real reason why you shouldn't have. It's just like, I don't know, I feel like you shouldn't have,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna punish you. And where it's like, I don't know.
I just thought of something actually.
Yeah.
Going back to what you said about like when we had met in middle school.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna have a real heart to heart right now, Tori. I hope you're ready for
Yeah,
this.
I'm ready.
I'm excited. Go on.
So, like when I had met Lucas, who then in turn introduced me to you, who I thought you were gonna murder me at some point.
I
I
thought-
think you still might at some point in my
I
life.
wouldn't be
very
shocked.
fair.
It's hard to control myself sometimes. I've been over your bed while you're sleeping with a knife before.
Yeah,
Don't
I've
tell
seen
me.
Well,
it.
to be fair, I asked Tori on an episode of Zelda if we were all locked in a room or like separately locked into a room, how long would it take you to kill you or me? And he said it would take a shorter amount of time to kill me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we would team up and kill you.
I've just known you for too. Like I know how to
yeah.
handle you.
That's
yeah,
fair.
it's we got through like 10 days nonstop with each other, and it was still at the end we were like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, but we're gonna have a real heart-to-heart now, Tori.
Hit me with it.
So like when I had met you in middle school in turn, like it was almost like having an older sibling then, because then you had a lot of influence on me with just like, oh, videos are cool, and like you were introducing me to stuff where I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I had formed my own opinion of like, this is cool, but it was finally like having like an older sibling influence me of just like, this is kind of how you're supposed to like develop yourself.
Okay.
So it was like that. It was like you had kind of shown me the developing side of like, this is how you kind of like do things, and this is how you like, these are my interests, and like by proxy, these are also your interests now.
Okay.
So that was like a huge influence on me in middle school and everything. So that very much shaped the person I am today. So now there's two really shitty people instead of one really shitty person.
Yeah, no wonder we've been such good friends for so long.
Exactly. Like, no, like it totally makes
We've been
sense.
slowly melting into one.
That's how
Next time we're gonna be like stuck together like
everyone's expecting all of this to end in just like a deeply romantic kiss between us. No, it's just
And
going to
they're
end
right.
up like
An
melding
amalgamation,
into one.
yeah.
Like, yeah, just this horribly deformed person. Like,
like the end of Akira.
yuck. Don't bring that up. I just watched Kira for the first time.
So good.
It's not that good.
It's really good.
It's not that good. The animation is good, but it's not that good of a movie.
It's a very good movie.
I disagree.
You're
but now I want your
you
opinion.
see some anime titties in it.
Hell yeah.
You want
dude.
my opinion?
I want your opinion on it. Like, does that make sense now? As like
That does make sense. 'Cause
going
I-
over the years now, like kind of thinking like, oh yeah, like Tyler wasn't interested in like video or any of this work until I introduced him to this, and then it was like it grew from there. And like my sense of humor and everything.
Yeah, I mean that explains why we have such a similar sense of humor. Because like, this is the first time hearing of this. Like I didn't know it, and I didn't.
Well, I didn't know it either until I just thought about it.
You
And
were
I
just
was like,
thinking about
oh shit, like
Okay.
that makes total sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, that makes sense, and it especially makes sense seeing as how over the years we went from being originally way back in like early 7th grade. I was like, I don't know
Kid's
about
a fucking dork.
don't know about this, don't know about this Tyler kid. And then, and then we just like by proxy of friends, we started hanging out more. And then it got to the point where it was like, oh, like we actually are getting along a lot. And then we started hanging out alone a lot more. And then like from there, just like, yeah, like we like bonded way more, got way closer to the point like we were kind of had our own thing going on, like our own inside jokes and all that kind of stuff like that. And like other people were kind of like, oh, what the fuck, man? Like I introduced you guys. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on there?
Because now it's like
That
at the
does make
point of
sense.
like, we can just like look over and we're both just like,
We have like an unspoken language
yeah,
almost.
it's just,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I like this kid.
There's
that-
like maybe one or two friends I could say the same thing with. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's weird how much.
Definitely not with you.
'Cause I
two,
remember
didn't grow
you-
up with you two.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Because I used to catch shit from you that was just like, dude, why are you wearing a similar shirt as me? Like, it was that.
Oh, dude, that's freaky. When you start to accidentally match wardrobes with your friends.
Yeah, but like now that I think about it, it was very much like an older sibling relationship where it was just like,
You were like,
oh, I gotta be like Tori.
I saw you wearing those clothes. I'm like, I wanted to wear similar things. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose,
it
yeah.
developed into that to where now, like, we were at that point like years ago where you were
Yeah.
like, dude, you can't have the same shirt as me.
Do you think if we went back and we talked to our friends from that time, which many of them we are still friends with, do you think they would look at it and be like, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
we'll have to?
Because I think I was a very malleable person in middle
Oh,
school.
absolutely. Everyone
because it was very much like I had switched schools going into middle school, so I didn't know anyone. Like no one from my elementary school went to the same middle
you
school.
were on that weird borderline where your middle school switched, or your elementary school switched for middle school. Everyone else went to a different one.
Everyone else went to a different one, so I didn't have
Yeah.
any friends going into middle school.
Right.
So I was just like,
And then the same thing happened with you for high school. So like, fuck you, right?
but at that point, like,
you knew
Yeah.
more about it. You knew more who you were and stuff. But
exactly.
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. But like, it makes sense. Like, especially
You're
seeing,
you're just my Papa Bird, and I'm under your wing, and we're soaring
you're
through
in
the
my
Rocky
talons,
Mountains.
and I'm just sitting there flapping away. Yeah, especially knowing Emily God bless her sweet, sweet body, but like she's not exactly an influential, like a person who's going to influence you in a positive way.
No.
So
that's where I got a lot of my
it makes sense how you
quote
were more
unquote positive influence
more of
from you.
yeah, you were a bit more of, I guess, a blank slate. Is that how you would want to?
Yeah, absolutely. I was way
you were
more
a raw dough at that point.
I was a raw dough ready to be just manhandled by Tori. I was raw dough, and Tori just took me and he manhandled me and shaped me into a
375,
delicious $7.99 flatter. And that's where we'll end today's episode.
Absolutely. That's
Save us.
exactly where we should
Save us.
end it. So, yeah, thanks for joining us on this whimsical podcast where we kind of dissected psychology, talked about flat earthers and religion, I suppose.
It's always got to be in there.
And Tyler's doughy nature.
But yeah, if you like
have
the
been getting a bit
podcast,
chubby.
go ahead and let us know in the comment section of wherever you may be consuming this podcast, whether
Give us 5 stars on iTunes or I'll fucking come to your house and kill you.
Okay. Yeah, do that. Or we'll all come to kill you because Tyler is the only one who has a car and we all just pile into his car to get places.
If I tell Tyler to do it, he'll do it. We found out.
But yeah, go ahead and leave us a comment anywhere you may be viewing or listening to this so that we may engage with you because we love having people engage with us on any form of media that we create. It helps us give us topics for the show and everything. But yeah, thank you so much for listening and or watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
I'll mold your doughy ass too.